MC said they want that smoke, so we're gonna see what y'all got. Meek Mill, you know, you ain't got nothing but air and opportunity to show them how it's done.
I'm at a point in my life, like, we all grew up in the streets, and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time.
Where would you be right now if you were just Meek Mill, who nobody knew, if you didn't have all these powerful people who raised your case up and made people pay attention?
I would be in prison.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
Meek Mill's got to deal with what he got to deal with based on the relationship him and Puff had.
It's a lot. It's good, bro.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, all the allegations. Are you attracted to men or women?
It depends on my mood, my vibe.
Is it true that you've had sexual relations with Meek Mill?
I can't tell you that.
They sold him a dream wrapped in gold, but what he actually got was a nightmare in disguise. They promised him the world, but instead, they locked him inside a cycle that was designed to break him down. And tonight, we're connecting the dots between the slow unraveling of one of Philly's biggest stars and the so-called mentorship of Diddy. This isn't just about music politics. It's about power, it's about predatory behavior, and it's about what happens when manipulation feeds off desperation. Here's what most people completely missed. Diddy didn't just stumble across Meek Mill. He picked his moment carefully. Meek was vulnerable, fresh out of jail in 2018, still tangled in legal battles, searching for someone with real influence who could finally give him stability. That's when predators strike. Not when you're strong, but when you're exhausted and grateful. And that's exactly the blueprint Diddy had been running for decades. Find rising talent at their lowest point, swoop in with a lifeline, flex those industry connections, and make it look like salvation. At first, it feels like mentorship, like somebody finally believes in you. But little by little, the lines start shifting, and before you realize it, you're trapped in something darker, something you never signed up for.
You know, ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Meek Mill had his Amazon account connected to his Twitter. The man on there buying dildos and it's getting posted to his Twitter account. I just purchased this 10-inch dildo.
Real life shit, nigga. No Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you heard?
Talk that shit, Meek. Yeah, Meek.
Meek Mill's got to deal with what he got to deal with based on the relationship him and Puff had. Dressing alike, being cozy, Puff calling him daddy, saying little innuendos to him. People are looking at that and saying Meek Mill is wrong for saying no Diddy. But you can't tell a man how to spend his money and how to make love to his wife or his Diddy.
Gene Deal has never been the type to sugarcoat anything. When he speaks about what really went down inside Bad Boy's inner circle, he isn't talking about missed deadlines or petty contract disputes. He's talking about the price Meek Mill paid for stepping into a system designed to exploit vulnerability. A system where every opportunity came with a hidden trap waiting underneath. May 3rd, 2014, Meek's 27th birthday. On the surface, it looked like the ultimate flex. Diddy shelled out $25,000 to rent the Parisian Palace in Las Vegas. To fans and outsiders, it was a generous gesture, a powerful mentor celebrating his protege. But to insiders, that wasn't kindness, that was an investment. And in Diddy's world, investments always come with an expected return. What happened that night wasn't just a party, it was an initiation. According to testimony from property manager Jason Hayes, the aftermath told a story no camera captured. Razor blades left behind, coke residue lining tables, used condoms tossed aside, bed sheets stained red, and bottles of lubricant scattered everywhere. And the most chilling detail? Diddy had demanded double-sided locks on every bedroom door. Locks where only he held the key. That isn't party planning. That's creating a trap, a setup designed to control every move, every exit, and every person inside.
What do you think about the undercover community?
I think that if you roll in undercover, right, there's no need to, because I think the opportunities are endless.
Hero stood shoulder to shoulder with Meek Mill.
I'm at a point in my life, like, we all grew up in the streets. And we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time to gain my respect and be who I am today, and I'm proud of that.
They came recently. This happened a long time ago, but they recently just made a statement that they found loads of cocaine. I wonder what they did with the cocaine, because they didn't turn it over to the police. They said they found loads of cocaine, razor blades. They said that the sheets were bloody, nasty. They found a whole lot of used condoms. And it was a Diddy party, giving in Meek Mill's honor for his birthday. I was like, yo, wow.
Gene's reaction said it all. This wasn't shocking to insiders, it was confirmation. When a man who's witnessed Hollywood at its darkest calls something frightening, you know it's crossing lines most people can't even imagine. The truth is, that night was never about celebrating Meek Mill. It was about breaking him. Meek was supposed to stand as Philly's proof that you could fight through the struggle and win. Instead, he became a cautionary tale of what happens when raw ambition collides with a predator's power. Even his own city, the same streets that raised him, the fans who once shouted his name, struggled to recognize what he had turned into. And the transformation didn't happen naturally. It was engineered. Every move was calculated to strip him down. Dressing like Diddy? That wasn't fashion. That was submission. Publicly playing the role of the sidekick? That wasn't friendship. That was control. Even those leaked intimate tapes weren't random. They were designed to chip away at his credibility, to erase the respect that once protected him in the streets. Because here's the brutal reality. Once you're no longer feared on the block, once the streets don't see you as your own man, you become fully dependent on the handler pulling your strings.
Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood shit.
Girl, they released all the photos of the sex workers that Diddy would hire to have sex with Cassie in front of him for the freak-offs. I looked at every last picture of those men. Not one woman was hired. Diddy is gay. Okay? Diddy likes men. If you look at all those men, all those pretty-ass niggas that he hired, he likes men. Okay? He likes men. That's why he was treating the women so badly. He dating multiple women and shit because he can't be with a man for real.
It wasn't homophobia that made Philadelphia turn away. The city didn't care about labels. They just wanted to see their hometown kids shine. But what they saw instead was something else entirely. The same streets that raised Meek, filled with people who know how to read a man inside and out, could see it plain as day. He wasn't celebrating success. He wasn't climbing higher. He was broken. Completely broken.
Because that was a big story. So a lot of his people that know him, a lot of the people that been in those parties and seen probably some unscrupulous shit that went down and was like, ooh, I was there. I hope they don't got me on tape. They feeling a certain way, so they're not gonna speak on nothing until they've been approached with something. You gotta realize, when Homeland Security get their evidence together, they're gonna send agents out. You understand? They might send an agent out to me. Yo, what do you know? What have you heard? What have you seen? What's been going on? You know what I'm saying? You know, did this happen when you was around him? Did this happen back in the day? That's what they're gonna wanna know. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna send investigators out. They're gonna send people out for anybody that they can get some information from to help their case. So those celebrities ain't gonna say nothing. You know, you got your man Stevie J speaking on it right now. He'll be one of the first dudes that they'll probably pull to the side and say, yo, well, you say that your man, I heard you on TMZ say that he never did this and he never did that, but ain't this you? If those pictures or those films or anything like that exists. You know what I'm saying? That's what they pay those agents to do. So, of course, I don't believe that none of the people who are his celebrity friends is going to speak or say nothing until they're either contacted or they know what they really got.
So you feel like they might be worried that they might be on tape at one of Diddy parties doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing?
I think that the celebrities that may be worried is because what Lil Rob said. Lil Rob said in his affidavit that Diddy had every room taped and bugged. Diddy had, yo, bro, can you imagine he had every room taped and bugged, and they found little bugs and little tape recorders, little those micro projectors or whatever like that, or video cameras. They found them in the house, bro. So by them having those things in the house, and people know there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men, woman on woman, man on man, all kind of crazy shit. Bruh, they just wondering who or when they're gonna let this stuff be known. If it's on videotape.
Yeah, man, I know they gotta be shook, man, after finding out he was recording everything.
But not only celebrities, I don't think it's only celebrities gonna be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there. Hallelujah. That's crazy.
You personally, you think they got tapes?
Well, my personal opinion that if Lil Rob could be trusted and his statement are true, they got him. They got tapes and stuff. It's crazy that money, that lifestyle, and you trying to fit into something get you. These guys never set out to do all this shit. Meek Mills, when he got into the game, he didn't set out to be questioned about his manhood with Diddy. But he put himself in that position.
That's the twisted secret of this business. It isn't fists that break you, it's favors. They don't crush you with violence, they drown you in appreciation until you start believing you owe your entire career to the very person pulling your strings. And in that world, success often comes with the price of surrendering the very identity that made you worthy of success in the first place. But Meek's role in Diddy's system went deeper than just being another victim. According to the Lil Rod complaint, Meek was turned into a recruiting tool. His downfall wasn't just for Diddy's control, it was used to lure in others. Diddy would dangle Meek's story as bait, showing up-and-coming artists what opportunity looks like, then backing it up with private tapes that revealed what compliance really meant. It's a sinister kind of psychology. If someone as authentic, as street-certified as Meek Mill could be convinced to play along, what shot did newcomers have at saying no? That was the genius of the trap. Diddy didn't just break Meek. He weaponized him, turning his humiliation into a live demonstration for the next generation of victims.
And Diddy could promise a producer, if he's in a act, that he could give him a Grammy. What kind of power, who he doing, or what he know, that he could get that done? That's some kind of spooky shit, bruh. No disrespect. That's real spooky, if he could promise somebody. And good thing the kid didn't believe him, because if the kid would have believed him, he might have got his booty hole tore up. So my whole thing about it is, listen here, man. He has to have some real power, but he showed us his power. Remember at the BET Awards? Remember when they was trying to go to commercial? And he said, nah, we not good. Whoever done that, bruh? Whoever stopped the people from going to commercial? Nobody ever did that but Diddy, bruh. So he has some kind of power.
Why are you doing bunny hops, Meek? Because you got your ass beat in tennis. You got your ass beat. Keep going. Count out loud. Count out loud. Huh? Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't cheat on your bunny hops. They suck. Your bunny hops suck.
It wasn't just Lil Rod who got fed that promise of a Grammy. That's been Diddy's bait for years. The playbook never changed. Dangle the industry's highest prize, record the moment of concession to keep the silence locked in, and then keep the collaboration flowing. The reward? A shiny stamp of approval from the same industry that pretends it's all about talent, when really, it's about control.
We really don't know what was said, but the kid said he told him, this is somebody I admire. This is somebody you got high aspirations for, that you want to be like. Look and see what he doing. This is what you should be doing too. Wow, that was crazy.
Dream chase. I hope they forgive me for what I did with Diddy. Real street ever. The king of Philly.
Showing someone tapes of past victims isn't just pressure. It's straight up psychological warfare. The moment you've seen it, you're implicated. You know the system exists, and at the same time, you're told resistance is pointless. That's how they lock you in. And here's the part people overlook. Diddy didn't just break Meek down, he weaponized him. Meek became part of the machine. The formula was the same every time. Find the weakness, exploit the gratitude, document the compliance, then use that footage to reel in the next target. It's a cycle, a conveyor belt of control, and once you recognize the pattern, everything else clicks into place. That's why Meek's reaction to being exposed looked so wild, so frantic, so desperate. When your entire career is built on a lie, the truth doesn't just hurt, it becomes your deadliest enemy. Look at the timing. February 2024, the Lil Rod case is making waves, and suddenly, Meek Philly's own, the rapper once linked to Nicki Minaj, is back in the headlines. But his response? That wasn't the calm denial of an innocent man. It was panic. It was fear. It was the scramble of someone whose deepest nightmare had just been dragged into the light. The legal world spotted it instantly. Innocent people don't throw around $100,000 to prove their innocence. They hire lawyers, they build cases, they fight it out in court. But when your hands aren't clean, that's when you hire PR teams, spin doctors, and independent investigators. That's not confidence, that's damage control.
Attorneys will take on cases and say, hey, this dude paying out this quick. He'll pay us $1 million right quick, or $300,000, whatever, if he wants stuff to go away. And, you know, I'm sure those insurance companies that he has that mainly, y'all don't know, is the one that be paying those things out. I try to educate y'all on, is usually your company insurance companies that pay them out and making the decisions, when you have the business insurance or the businesses, you have the different type of insurance that make you pay out the thing. Because by the time you have all the different lawyers and stuff involved, it's just as quick to settle a case. So that's unfortunately is what's happening to Puffy. Everybody's gonna come out of the woodworks. So I'm not trying to say that he don't deserve any of these lawsuits. I don't believe about Meek Mills. I'm a Meek Mill fan. I don't know what happened. I noticed when he talked about it though. Meek Mills didn't deny it. Like I said, I don't want to believe that that is true.